Thank you, Amir, and thank you, Stuart, for your wisdom and perspectives. And it's incredible to spend these couple of days with all of you. As we draw this extraordinary gathering to a close today, I think it's really important to recognize the unprecedented acceleration of AI in its current evolution. But it was not without anticipation. To paraphrase Hemingway's famous quote, we arrived at this intense time of transformative change gradually and then all of a sudden. This conference, which is now in its 7th year, serves as a testament to the many well-organized and focused initiatives that have come before. And it's safe to say that the world, though, was caught off guard in the past year by the speed of innovation and transformation happening around generative AI with the launch of ChatGPT. Suddenly, all the world's attention is focused on this issue. But it's left businesses and regulators alike playing catch-up. To be clear, though, we cannot suppress a force that's this strong. The inexorable progress of technology will continue with or without us. Foundational models and GPTs have become a cornerstone of development already, and there's exponential benefits to be gained and derived, so it's literally not feasible to contemplate halting them, their deployment, or their development. Nor can we really allow ourselves to become mere spectators and divert our eyes and our gaze as we watch inevitable things happen to us. Instead, we need to reflect and chart a course that aligns our progress with our values. Now, passive acquiescence of control of these technologies to a few actors would really have a profound impact on the greater aspiration of all of us. So we must, all of us, whether you're here in the audience, whether you're a politician or a policymaker, we have to engage in shaping this future together. We need to ask ourselves, how do we cross this bold new horizon with integrity, truth, fairness, and trust in our humanity? But let's not make people fearful of progress. Like, we can't lose sight of the fact that there's huge opportunities and upsides to this technology. And a technological revolution of this magnitude has the power to advance human progress on an unprecedented scale. Now, some have referred to what we're experiencing as a new enlightenment. And I do think it's true that AI and large language models serve as modern-day intellectual catalysts. They enhance our ability to absorb and process information. They connect us with vast stores of human wisdom and creativity, and provide us access to the accumulated wealth of all the generations past. Moreover, just as the Enlightenment period fostered a culture of critical thinking and reasoning, generative AI and language models prompt us to challenge the status quo. Engaging with these technological marvels enables us to scrutinize our assumptions, critically assess evidence, and reveal previously unknown insights. So what we're witnessing today is a renaissance in creativity and innovation, driven by human ingenuity working hand in hand with AI. It is a historic opportunity. We've seen remarkable things that AI systems can do, but now is our chance to come together and take these capabilities to the next level. By shaping a common approach, we will be taking the first steps towards a future where AI can be what I would like to call the middleware of human ingenuity and creativity. A tool for knowledge sharing and education with the power to accelerate utilitarian answers to global challenges. A future where we have supercharged our progress towards achieving the UN Sustainable Development Goals. By placing human-centric values at the core of AI, we can all make this a reality. Now, putting this into practice when it comes to certain disciplines like science, for example, it remains critical that humans are in the loop. For instance, at Benevolent AI, where I lead as CEO, the organizing principle for us is to augment human intelligence with AI. Our heritage is understanding the language of science. We spent over 5 years developing AI knowledge and exploration and predictive solutions that reason across all the world's biomedical information and enable scientists to combine that with multimodal data to uncover new insights that are not known and to accelerate the development of the R&D process. Our AI tools have been built for scientists, with scientists, to serve as catalysts in the process of discovery by intelligently interpreting vast amounts of data to identify patterns and make connections that are simply not possible for humans to do alone. And when paired with creativity and intuition of scientists, the possibilities of discoveries are limitless. Now, AI, as you all know, is great at ingesting vast quantities of information and spotting patterns. But what it's not great at is deep reasoning or deciding what data is trustworthy. Human experts are the reverse. By combining AI pattern recognition with human expertise, we can unlock powerful insights and leverage the strengths of both. The result is a true partnership between human experts and AI superpowers to reach scientific breakthroughs faster. This is where the life sciences industry, with its troves of data and a heritage of peer-reviewed research, really has an edge and a potential to make a tremendous impact. Generative AI can use its vast computational power to enhance outputs, create more efficient workflows, and bio-domain-specific large language models can enable biologists to uncover novel insights, combining the power of AI with cutting-edge science to discover and develop new medicines for complex diseases. But there are also many other, more practical applications. I believe that generative AI is nothing less than a revolution for the right-brained in society. These are the intuitive, creative, free thinkers who've been perhaps left out by the tech revolution now for too long. For years, we've hidden the advances behind lines of code. And today, access to the world's collective intelligence lies at the end of a simple, well-crafted query. Users no longer have to understand these models or how they're constructed. The code behind them are to figure out how they're made in order to extract their benefits. The way we interact with a GPT is simply through a query in response to a prompt. We ask a question, we get an answer, precisely the ways we as humans interact with each other every day. So language is the way we navigate a GPT, which makes this technology as equalizing and democratic as it is as it is transformative. By eliminating barriers, this technology becomes accessible to billions of people, empowering them with unprecedented knowledge. Now, we need to scale this democratizing force to achieve its true potential and ensure that AI is for the benefit of all. On that note, there are real questions about who is developing this technology and who will benefit most. At present, a handful of major corporations own and control the leading models. Now, what that means is businesses and governments are entirely out of the loop. The capacity and compute required to train AI models are cost prohibitive for smaller corporations. Now, as a result, our future lies in the hands of a small number of players with privileged access and unlimited resources. This could have profound consequences in every country and society overall. We have been here before, and we know what can go wrong. We've lived the decade of social media, disinformation, and internet harms, and we know what could happen. So while early generative AI leaders are making public statements, attending high-level government meetings, and stating the importance of regulating this world-leading technology, this is being done much on their terms. And we are effectively repeating, potentially, the same mistakes of the past, that era that we referred to as the move fast and break things era. So what is our proposed response to all of this? Governments worldwide have recognized the imperative of creating frameworks to regulate AI development. While the US has been speaking with industry and talking to the leaders of these companies about AI governance, the EU hopes that its AI Act will be the world's first comprehensive AI law, using a risk-based approach, arguing these technologies must be evaluated for potential dangers. But getting this balance right is a real challenge. Last week, 150 executives signed an open letter arguing that the proposed act, the AI Act in Europe, could potentially harm Europe's competitiveness and technological sovereignty. These executives argue that the rules are too extreme and could impede rather than foster AI innovation. Now, many governments are engaging through various multi-stakeholder fora, like the Global Partnership on AI, which operates out of the OECD in Paris. Now, the Global Partnership in AI was a brainchild of Canada and France when they had their G7 presidencies. And I had the opportunity to chair the organization for 2 years. And the exciting thing about it is there's now 29 member countries, and they're open to new members all the time. So it's an idea that you bring experts together and you bring governments together and you literally riff on and try to solve these problems and take this on. And I think it's a really important organization. At the same time, companies are actively ramping up individual efforts to manage this agenda and coordinate international approaches to responsible AI. The UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, for example, has demonstrated tremendous leadership by convening global AI research groups and establishing a foundation models task force to fine-tune regulation, with efforts culminating in the UK hosting a global AI safety summit later this year. Now, these initiatives to prioritize safety and responsibility in AI development are vital, but if we really are to shape the future of humanity with AI, we have to go further. We need to establish a common understanding, holding ourselves and others accountable for the ethical implications of the application of this technology. We need a consistent, unified, and global regulatory framework to set the guardrails for development and governance. This is, of course, not easy to accomplish. Yet we must remember that the UN and ITU were founded on the principles of global cooperation and technological advancement. And as we've seen over the past few days, these organizations have the influence and the capability to convene world leaders and experts to address the challenges that affect our entire world. And I believe there's no more important or urgent challenge than the one of ethical development and deployment of AI for the benefit of all citizens. Ethics have always been the core of society. The works of Socrates, Kant, and Mill laid the foundation of ethical principles, emphasizing the importance of altruism and understanding oneself. Mill's harm principle, in particular, is relevant as we seek to cultivate freedom for AI's development, whilst ensuring that no harm is caused to others in the process. As AI increasingly permeates every aspect of our lives, we must ensure that ethical considerations guide its development and implementation. Which brings me to the open source models movement. A recently leaked memo, you guys would have read it, called "We Have No Moat" by a Google executive. It was posited that Google and Microsoft backed generative AI models, including BARD and GPT-4, may have already be facing an existential crisis by smaller, more agile open source models, which are attracting top researchers and reducing their competitive edge. Now, at the same time, though, while open source technology may be accessible to more people, it's not necessarily free or democratic. It still requires significant investments to deploy and train and license these models. Furthermore, the cost and concentration of the infrastructure required to train and operate these models, and the concentration of market power that tech already has, creates a natural monopoly that is difficult for new entrants to disrupt. As a result, the future will likely be dominated by existing players with little room for newcomers to challenge their position. If this ever-changing, ever-growing landscape, what it illustrates now more than ever is that governments and international institutions like the UN and ITU and business leaders, what we do now is absolutely critical. Now, we learned during the pandemic that a virus doesn't carry a passport. And AI, too, it knows no borders. Therefore, we need a global commitment to ensure that AI in all of its evolutions is used responsibly and for the benefit of humanity. Just as Norway has established the seed vault in Svalbard to preserve the biodiversity of our planet, we must think creatively and come up with similarly monumental approaches to AI. We should reject pessimism and passivity and work to construct a series of foundational principles to guide this AI age together. And if we succeed, we will endow mankind with an era of freedom, enlightenment, prosperity, and optimism. But a global commitment to better regulation is by itself not enough. We need the people leading AI companies and AI research to take a proactive stand to make AI responsible by design. One example of incredible leadership in this space is Anthropic, founded by former OpenAI researchers whose objective is to develop better, more explainable AI that can align with human values and ethics. One of their projects, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, Claude, has a set of ethical principles that helps define right and wrong. Anthropic calls this the bot's constitution, which is drawn from the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Now, Anthropic invites anyone who uses Claude to provide feedback, and also as part of their effort, they try to make Claude more aligned with global values and perspectives to improve its reliability and interoperability. This is the kind of leadership that we need. As we deepen the relationship with and the understanding of this technology, we must recognize that the soul of society lies in our respect for human rights. It is time to extend this to include AI, ensuring that its development aligns with our core values. We must remember that humanity has always been the driving force behind innovation, and have faith in our capacity to shape the future with integrity and compassion. By doing so, we can ensure that all individuals in society are protected rather than threatened by AI. Now, good examples of this already exist. In the space of child protection from online abuse and exploitation, a field that I've been working in for over a decade as the founder of the We Protect Global Alliance. Now, there's emerging AI technologies that are being used to combat online threats to children. In 2020, the United Nations Interregional Crime and Justice Research Institute, UNICRI, with the support of the Ministry of the Interior of the UAE, launched the AI for Safer Children initiative. This is a global hub that provides law enforcement with AI tools to combat sexual abuse and exploitation of children. The AI for Safer Internet hub counts over 70 AI-enabled tools today, and 350 officers from 90 UN member states have access to it, receiving direct training and capacity-building support on the use of AI tools and techniques to combat this heinous crime and bring those responsible to justice. In closing, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment in history. AI has the potential to revolutionize society and advance human progress in unprecedented ways. But we must ensure that it is not at the expense of losing what it truly means to be human. By collectively adhering to ethical principles and holding ourselves accountable, we can ensure that AI becomes a force for good in the interest of all. Let us embrace this moment with conviction and determination to guide this renaissance in AI in a way that is right for our world.